For the last 20 years, the Toyota Harrier has been... No, wait a minute. Now it's not grey anymore.
And it certainly is not, because this is the facelifted, turbocharged, officially imported from Japan, Toyota Harrier 2-litre turbo luxury with Toyota safety sense, all for 260,000 ringgit.
Now we all know that Toyota has never officially brought in the Harrier, but things have changed and now it's here, with Malaysia being the only other country aside from Singapore to receive it outside of Japan. Without going into the specifics, we know that there's an updated Harrier. We know that it has arrived in Malaysia and we know why. So now I'm here with this 2-litre T luxury spec to see if it's worth that long wait, to see if it's worth all that money, or if you should just get a lesser, unofficial model that looks dated and isn't as powerful. In terms of looks, the Harrier is as aggressive as I've ever seen it. A cosmetic upgrade means now you get a new bumper that looks like this, with a vertical strip on the outer edge instead of a round light fixture, along with a new honeycomb grille. More importantly, it's now got an updated headlamp design with sequential turn indicators and a 3 LED bulb layout, like the claws of a Harrier bird, just like that. Speaking of which though, I don't really get the design of that, but if you've seen my CX-5 review, you would remember my Batman socks theory.
The corners light up as well, depending on which direction your steering is in. Good for spotting drains, I noticed, but in case you fall into it, there's puddle lamps on the side mirrors too.
As for the side profile, well, I think it looks rather slick and classy. Don't think there's much else I can say about it aside that it's furnished with 18-inch alloys and what seems to be a growth on the left side mirror, which makes me a little uncomfortable looking at it. The new look extends to the back as well. You get these new LED tail lamps that stretches to the side and is complemented by this red plastic strip. Unfortunately, it doesn't light up, but it actually looks pretty cool at night. With the luxury model, the Harrier even comes with an automatic tailgate with 5 different levels of height adjustment. It opens up to 440 litres of boot space, and while it may not sound like much, honestly, I don't think there's any luggage or golf bag that it can't fit. I guess or rather we, can conclude unanimously that the Harrier looks thoroughly sorted on the outside. But what does it look on the inside then? Inside, it's business as usual, living up to the posh standards of the Harrier name. And it's very well equipped, like the seats for example. With memory functions and lumbar support, it's really comfortable. You really gotta sit on it to understand what I'm saying. The Harrier also comes with ventilated front seats with air coming from underneath the Nappa leather. It's also got 7 airbags and touch control. This luxury model also comes with this Nano E system which emits moist ion, which apparently is good for your hair and your skin. While us guys wouldn't really care for those kind of things, I'm pretty sure the wives and the daughters would really appreciate it. But, and there is a but, there are a few things I'd like to point out. First of all, the glossy surfaces. Personally, I'm not a fan of them and there's just too many of it around. It really points out the dust, something I'm not really a fan of as well. And then you have this plush armrest with a massive storage space underneath. But then, it leads to this plastic panel, which I wish could have been a little more luxurious, including the panels on the dashboard as well. Then you have the red stitchings. While I really appreciate the ones on the dashboard, the door trims, and even on the steering wheel, which makes the whole front end look really sporty yet classy at the same time, I don't really get these few on the front seats. I mean, this is premium Nappa leather, you shouldn't overdo it, Toyota. Over at the front, you get these 2 analog dials with a color TFT display squashed in the middle. It projects various informations like your fuel consumption, your lane departure warning systems, your boot height adjustment, and your adaptive cruise control. It's quite user-friendly along with this 7-inch touchscreen display connected to 6 speakers. Although, if I have to point out something, the one problem I have with it is the rear view camera. The visibility of it is as good as your pair of eyes smeared with Vaseline. The coolest feature I think in this Harrier's cabin has to be this, the panoramic roof, which is only exclusive to the luxury variants, but it must be enjoyed from the back. Back here, I feel the Harrier offers plenty of room for your family or even 3 adult passengers. I mean, look at this. If you made it early in life and you got yourself a Harrier, it can really accommodate all sorts of activities in the back seat. You know, under the stars, in a romantic setting, hopefully not by yourself though. And the best part is, you don't have to do it sitting upright like this. It reclines, so you get to sit as low as this. Then you have rear air vents, which is expected. And because this car is a front-wheel drive, you don't have that center bulge raised to accommodate the drive shaft underneath, freeing up all that space for the middle passenger.
So it all seems fine and dandy on the inside and the outside of the Harrier. But what's it like behind the wheel?
I must say, I find myself feeling really comfortable in this driver's seat. The padding on it is just amazing. It's like an expensive lazy chair. Have you felt one of those? It just receives you with the warm embrace of a mother. And just like a mother, it's gentle as well. The Harrier's ride is supple. The suspension absorbs all the bad stuff from the tarmac and only gives you the good ones. And it's quite well insulated. I noticed in particular that the windows seem to be a little thicker than usual. But if there's one thing I feel that ruins the silence in this cabin, it's the tyre noise, if I'm not wrong. If I were you, I'd just change to a different set once these are worn out. So apparently the Harrier comes with performance dampers, but from where I'm sitting, I just wish that going through the bends, it could be a little firmer. It's not bad, not at all by any means, but I guess it could be better. Then again, guess you can't have it all. At least it's comfortable. While comfort is a massive part of this Harrier experience, whether you're sitting in the front or the back, the main talking point of this car is the new 2-litre turbocharged engine based on the Lexus NX, which I feel has been the missing ingredient in the Harrier. You see, for such a big car, what you need is torque. And in the 2-litre, 2.5-litre models, I feel it's just a little insufficient. But in this model, with its twin-scroll turbocharger that ensures that power is delivered without any lag, comes up with 228 horsepower and 350 Newton meters of torque. And you get all that torque without having to rev past 4,000 RPM, squeezing the engine, making it scream all the way to the red line just for power. A style of driving I feel is not befitting of a Harrier driver. I think the Harrier driver will also appreciate the fact that underneath this is not a CVT gearbox, but a 6-speed automatic transmission. So how does it add up then? Well, I wouldn't say that it accelerates at breakneck speeds. For a 1.7-ton car, the Harrier gets going quite rapidly once you put your foot down, all the way to the other end of the speedometer, which only reaches to 180 kilometers by the way. And if somehow you do end up at the other end of the speedometer and some fool decides to pull out in the fast lane in front of you, rest assured, the brakes will do its job. But just be safe lah, don't drive so fast, okay? The steering is as expected, fluid and effortless, offering a tireless and relaxing driving experience. And for such a long car measuring at 4.7 meters, the turning radius is surprisingly impressive. So if you're buying it for your mistress, missus, you don't have to worry about her panicking making those U-turns. Another important addition to the Harrier, in fact a first in a Toyota here, is the Toyota Safety Sense. It includes a pre-crash system which helps avoid front collisions by automatically braking for you. The system also includes a lane keeping assist, lane departure alert, and adaptive cruise control. It also comes with an adaptive high beam where the system will automatically turn on the high beams whenever it's too dark and switch it off when there's oncoming traffic or pedestrians. Now that all that is done, allow me to rant a bit. First and most surprising of all is the USB port. Guess how many this car has? One. Yeah, just one. What are we in 2008? The Harrier owners' children would have at least a tablet and a smartphone each. They're not going to want to share a USB port. Kids don't like sharing. And it's all the way up here on the infotainment system. Well, at least that doesn't speak Japanese. And I'm really quite disappointed that the Harrier does not come with sequential turn indicators at the back. But inside, it doesn't even come with that multiple blink feature. You literally have to put it all the way down to turn on your indicators. It's not a matter of life and death, but come on, it's 2018 and in a car like that, I think it's expected. Now, the biggest problem I have with this whole car is this tiny thing. Look at it. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section, but I think the Fortuner comes with an even nicer key fob. If I was to be paying 50k for this car, fair enough, I wouldn't complain. But this is a Harrier. People expect it to be nicer. It's not like I'm trying to be petty or anything. I feel like I represent the viewers and the new car buyers to communicate these things to the car brands. If the customers are happy with the product, the brand gets the recognition. So just let me say this in a different language so that everyone there gets the message. Hare wa Harrier. Skuru sore miera ko kana. I just hope Google didn't translate wrongly. So, is this officially imported Harrier the car for you? Is it worth all those years of waiting? Is it worth your extra ringgits? Sure, it's got a few USB ports less than what we're used to. It could have had a clearer reverse camera. And if I can be a little more demanding, maybe it could do with a better sound system. But it's got that all-important 5-year unlimited mileage warranty, which I feel as a new car owner really matters. Because if you were buying a Harrier, you're most likely going to keep it for a long time, and having that warranty means that there isn't a care in the world if anything goes wrong, which is unlikely because it's a Harrier. For more information on the Toyota Harrier 2.0T, do log on to AutoBuzz.my. If you enjoyed our video, hit the like button, share this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. But if you've seen, the seat reclines. All its bottom here. I never switch off the radio. I wish it could have had a I'm losing my breath at the end of the line already. Okay.